Hey there, how you doing? Aaron Chen here. Hope you're doing well. If you're watching this video today, then you're probably doing a bit of research on how to host a webinar, okay? This is an amazing topic. Really excited to actually talk about it. For those of you who don't know me, my name is, again, Aaron. I've been online for 9 years, building my business. 8 of those 9 years, though, failed really miserably. So I know a thing or two about not doing well in the business world, okay? But, kind of failed through that, made a lot of mistakes. Learned a lot of things over the last year, had some tremendous success, generated over 1,000 sales in my business, and one of those are actually attributed, one of the reasons for that success is, attributed to webinars, right? So I know a thing or two about doing lots of webinars and not having any success, and then finally figuring out the formula, okay? So I'm gonna share, some of those tips and tricks and strategies with you over the next few minutes. So I recommend that if you don't have a pen and a piece of paper, I would grab a pen and a piece of paper, and you can kind of write this down, or you can just watch this video over and over again, okay? First and foremost, the fact that you're even, researching how to host a webinar is amazing, because webinars are one of the most powerful sales tools in your business, okay? So it doesn't matter what you're doing. You could be doing network marketing, MLM, you could be doing affiliate marketing like myself, you could be selling your own products, your own physical goods. Webinars are a great way to basically build a relationship with your potential prospects, your audience, people on your list, kind of build a relationship with them, get them to trust you in one sitting, okay? Because you'll probably be spending an hour or two with them on the webinar and then converting them into a sale. The problem with webinars, though, is if you don't know how to do this effectively, then what tends to happen is you just actually waste a lot of time on the webinar, just talking away for 2 hours, but you don't actually get any sales at the end of it. Okay, and so there's a real formula on how to do this step by step, right? And it's not the simplest thing if you don't have the right information, but if you do, then it can be fairly straightforward. Okay, so let's talk about what are some of the ways that you can actually host a webinar, what are some of the strategies, how to get set up, all that stuff. Okay, so first of all, you need to have some sort of webinar platform. Okay, you can't really do a webinar. Well, you actually no. I want to rephrase that. You can do it for free, but there's a reason why you should be using certain software as well. Okay, the way that you can do it for free is you can do YouTube Hangouts, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, because those are considered webinars as well, right? But the most effective types of webinars are the ones where you can actually show your PowerPoint presentation. Okay, it's not really the ones where you kind of get on like this and you're talking face to face. I mean, these are very effective too, but you have to be a very talented speaker, and you have to practice a lot before you can get to the point where it becomes really effective. So it's possible, okay? But the most effective ones, I would say, PowerPoint presentation, you can kind of hide behind your slides and just speak, right? So especially if you're a beginner and you don't really have the experience to, do this live like this, then, any sort of webinar platform that allows you to show your slides, those are the best, okay? So some examples would be GoToWebinar. Another one you can try is Webinar Jam. You can try webinars on air. You can even try ClickFunnels. I like to use ClickFunnels, right? Now, ClickFunnels is more of an automated webinar machine. So once you get your webinar presentation to a point where it's really good, it's going to convert every single time, then you automate it, and then you save yourself a lot of time, okay? So eventually, you definitely want to have some sort of webinar machine, but you also want to hold, live webinars every once in a while, maybe every 2 weeks or every month, completely up to you, okay? Because those can be very effective when you have a lot of people on your list and you're able to invite a lot of people onto your webinar, right? So now you got the platform. You know that you should be doing, webinars through PowerPoints, because those are the most effective. You can, show different examples. You can show testimonials. You can basically take them through a journey, and you're showing them different pictures, and you're making different analogies, different stories, and that's the best way to actually convert someone. Okay, so how do you actually, what's the structure of the webinar? Well, there's a lot of things that you need to do, right? But the best thing to do is to start with some sort of quote, okay, or some sort of proof or message that you're going to reveal to your potential prospects. So if you're in the weight loss industry, maybe your starting phrase could be, I'm gonna show you how to lose 30 pounds in the next 30 days. That's £1 a day. I mean, something ridiculous like that, okay? But make sure it's true, okay? It's gotta be true. If it's not true, then don't say it. But if it's real and you're really able to show someone how to do that, then if I was, an overweight person, I would find that pretty attractive. I'd be like, oh, that's really interesting. I wanna learn how to do that, right? Or maybe, and I like to use this example because it's just easy and I'm interested in fitness, but, maybe if you're a guy, you're going after the male market, you could say, if you've been trying to get a six-pack for the last 10 years and haven't been able to, I'm going to show you how to finally do it in the next 90 days by using one simple trick. And it could be as simple as that, right? Now, if you're someone like me who was trying to, get a six-pack for the last, 15, 20 years, and I saw a webinar like that, I'd be like, ooh, that's pretty interesting. I wouldn't mind spending, an hour with this guy to teach me how to, use one simple trick to finally get myself a six-pack, right? So that kind of thing. It's got to be attractive, it's got to be real, and it's got to be convincing, okay? So you start your webinar with some sort of quote like that, and then what you want to do is in the first part of the webinar, you want to tell a story. Okay, because it's all about telling stories, it's all about taking people through a journey, because facts tell, stories sell. I'm sure you've heard that before, right? But if you haven't, it's true. Facts tell, stories sell. So make sure you're constantly telling lots of stories throughout your webinar, right? And the first story that you want to tell is you want to tell the origin story, your origin story, right? So whatever niche market you're in, if you're in the finance niche, if you're in the weight loss niche, if you're in the, make money from home, internet marketing niche, you want to tell your story. How did you get started? And what was your aha moment? What was the epiphany that you have? It's also known as an epiphany bridge story, right? So you want to bridge the gap for people. How did you go from, being a complete, nobody, overweight person, loser, broke person, to becoming that amazing person where you figured it out, you lost tons of weight, or you made tons of money, or you finally got that six-pack that you always wanted? How did you transition into that person, right? And that's called the epiphany bridge story, right? You want to create an epiphany for your viewers on the other side that are watching your webinar, and you want to take them through that journey. So make sure you craft your origin story, your epiphany bridge story very, very well, okay? So you take them through, how you basically didn't know what you were doing, you made all these mistakes, you hit a roadblock, and then you wanted to quit, and then finally you didn't want to quit because you figured some stuff out, you tried it, you had an epiphany, and then you broke through, bang, right? And then you got your success. And that's basically the simple way of telling that story. But that story could literally last like 10 minutes during your webinar, because it's a big part of having success and getting people to, have that epiphany themselves, that one thing is the thing that they need to turn their life around and to get the results that they want. So it's about convincing them on that one thing, okay? And throughout your webinar, you want to make sure that you focus on that one thing, okay? It's all about that one thing that got you your success. It's all about that one thing that got you to get your six-pack abs. It's all about that one thing that got you to lose 30 pounds in 30 days, okay? I hope that makes sense, yeah? So now once you've done that, you want to kind of tell them, you want to give them some value, okay? So after your epiphany bridge story, you want to give them 3 things that they can do today in their business, in their life, that will help them to get to the result that they're trying to get, okay? And actually give them real strategies, okay? Now, you don't have to teach them exactly how to do it, but tell them what to do, okay? Don't show them how to do it, but show them what to do, right? And there's a big difference. So you don't have to go into, lots of detail, but give them good value, right? That's important. If people don't feel like they're getting value on the webinar, then they're gonna feel like you're holding back, right? And you don't want to do that. You want to give them real, solid information, okay? And the trick here, when you're giving them these 3 important pieces of value, as you spread it out through the webinar, is you want to be breaking psychological barriers, okay? Because a lot of people online, they think that they can't do stuff, right? They think that they're too fat, and they think that there's no way that they're ever going to be able to lose 30 pounds, right? But if you explain to them in your 3 steps, right, how, this is, one of the ways that you can do it, even if you're, I don't know, 200 pounds or 250 pounds, and you can convince them that it's actually a lot simpler than they really think, then what you're doing is you're breaking through psychological barriers, and that's what gets people to believe and to kind of move forward to the next stage. Okay, that's what helps you to get the sale. All right, so make sure that you're doing that, but make sure you're always tying it back to that one thing. Okay, don't tell them like 10 different things. Make sure you give them strategies, but always tie it back to that one thing. Okay, another thing that you want to do is you want to have testimonials, right? Have at least 2, 3, 4, 5 testimonials throughout your webinar. That always helps. Okay, because if you're giving them proof, income proof or real proof from your students or people in your teams, or maybe you can interview someone and get them, show that little video clip in your webinar. Real testimonials of real people getting results always helps convert in your webinar. Okay, now towards the end of the webinar, when you finally want to show them the offer, because it's about selling something, right? I'm assuming that if you're doing a webinar, you're trying to sell some sort of product, right? So it's very important that you transition from the value part. So the value part is about 3/4 of the webinar. The selling component is 1/4. It's right at the end, okay? So what you want to do is say something like, so listen, we've been online, now you've been on this webinar with me for the last hour and a half, but we don't have that much time. But I've got so much more to share with you, and I wanted to just ask permission if it's okay for me to show you the package that I put together for you guys today. Is that okay? Do I have permission to show you show you that information? And then you just pause, literally for like 30 seconds, okay? Wait till people come back and say, yeah, Aaron, show me how to do that. I want to learn. I want to learn from you. I want, show me the package, right? And then once people do that, say, okay, awesome. Well, now, some of you have said in the comments below, you said you want me to show you, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you the package that I put together for you, okay? So what you've done right there is you've asked permission to sell to them, okay? Now, if you've done a good job in the first 3/4 of that webinar, everyone is going to say yes. Okay, everyone's going to want to know, what you've put together for them, because they're going to want to learn. Some of them will want to buy by that stage. If you've done a good job, people will be dying to buy from you. Okay, so then the last quarter, that's when you put your package together. Okay, and this is called the stack. Okay, the stack is basically when you reveal your product, number one, and you reveal the benefits of your package, okay? And you offer them, okay, so this is what you're gonna get. So this is what I'm gonna teach you. This is the offer, this is the package, and in that package, this is what you're gonna learn. Bang, you're gonna learn all the different foods that you have to eat so that you can, burn, 24 hours a day, all the time, even when you're sleeping. I'm also gonna show you, bang, the 10 most effective exercises that you can do every single day that's gonna, also burn additional calories, right? I'm gonna teach you how to do that. I'm gonna give you my, body index calculator for free. I'm gonna just give it to you, blah, 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 blah. So you wanna stack all the value, all the little things that you're gonna give them. And the more that you can stack, the more people that you're gonna close, okay? Super, super cool. Now, don't worry about being too salesy at this point, because it's all about stacking value on value and actually just telling them what you're going to give them, right? And then right at the end, you want to give them the price, okay? Now, if you're doing a webinar and it's going to be long, 1 to 2 hours, you can generally price your webinar a little bit more expensive, okay? So it can be a $300 product. It can be a $500 product. It can be a $2,000 product, okay? I probably wouldn't go too much beyond $2,000, because then it starts to get really, really tough to get people to commit to paying. But if you do a good job on your webinar and you host it properly, okay, and you do everything that we spoke about, telling the Epiphany Bridge story, giving them lots of value, focusing on one thing, breaking psychological barriers, and then asking them for the sale at the end, and then stacking value, doing the stack, right? Chances are you'll be able to sell, you should aim for about 10 to 15% closing rate on your webinar. Now, if you do it right, you'll be able to do this, and obviously telling stories and parables and making analogies throughout the entire presentation. Then yeah, if you'll be able to close 10 to 15% of the audience, right? And that's a really, really good number. Think about it, right? If you had, if you managed to get 100 people on your webinar, and your closing rate was 10%, okay, that's 10 people. If your product cost $1,000, that's $10,000 in revenue you just generated on one webinar. Okay, that's pretty insane. Okay, so let's just say your closing rate wasn't even 10%. Let's just say it was half of that, 5%. That's still $5,000 that you just made on your webinar. Okay, now obviously, it's going to take you some time and some practice to get to that stage. But this is basically the structure on how to host a webinar, right? And how to close and sell people on a very good webinar series, okay? Now, if you want to get more in depth, I want to show you where I learned all this stuff, okay? Because I learned this from somewhere too, and I had to do a lot of research, okay? I've joined lots of different webinar programs. I've invested a lot of money in this stuff, but the one place where you can learn a lot of this stuff is in Russell Brunson's Expert Secrets, okay? This is a super amazing book, okay? And if you want to get access to this, all you have to do is click in the resources below. I'll have it somewhere there. Russell Brunson's Expert Secrets. This is where I learned all this webinar stuff, okay? And in this book, and he'll actually show you his his webinar secrets as well. This entire book is basically about everything that we just spoke about. It's about understanding how to create the perfect presentation, because every entrepreneur needs one perfect presentation. Okay, and that's usually in the form of a webinar, right? And if you structure it right, and you do it properly, and you've got a great product to sell, then you can potentially make a lot of profit and revenue and money inside of your business. Okay, so if you want to get access to that, just click in the resources below. I'll have it somewhere down there. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, right? I hope this helped you, right? Did this help to give you some aha moments, right? Let me know in the comments below, what are you thinking? Yeah? Are you going to use some of these strategies in your business? Are you going to create the perfect presentation? Are you going to create a webinar? Are you going to check out Russell Brunson's Expert Secrets? It's a great book. Great book. I love this guy. He's one of my mentors. He should be one of your mentors too, because this guy knows his stuff, okay? If you're building any sort of online business, internet business, this guy knows his stuff, right? So please check out Russell Brunson's Expert Secrets. That's what it's called. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video today. Let me know what you thought. Give me a thumbs up if you thought it, if it gave you any value today. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to get more videos like this, okay? And if you want to spend a little bit more time with me, I'm also going to leave my link right in the bottom of this video. You can get access to my business. You can get access to more of my stuff, right? More of my training, if that's what you want to do. Completely up to you, of course. And I wish you all the best in your webinar machine, webinar live selling endeavors. And I hope it really helps you in your business, okay? Aaron Chen signing out, and I'll speak to you in another video. Take care.